Today, we're focusing on one of the most common coins in circulation, the 1991 1-cent coin. It may seem like just another penny, but believe it or not, this small piece of currency holds some interesting history and, in certain cases, big value. So, if you've ever come across a 1991 penny, or just want to know more about it, stick around because this video will uncover its fascinating story, its value, and its hidden worth in the world of coin collect. From its design to its place in American history, the 1991 penny has a lot to offer. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone just getting into coin collecting, there's something exciting about this little coin. Let's dive right into it. Let's start with the history of the 1991 penny. The 1-cent coin has been part of U.S. currency since 1793, but the version we see today, featuring Abraham Lincoln, was first introduced in 1909. Designed by Victor David Brenner, Lincoln's portrait has adorned the penny for over a century. By 1991, the design of the penny had remained largely the same for decades, with Lincoln on the front and the reverse side featuring the wheat ears design until 1958. From 1959 onward, the reverse side was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial, which is still featured on the back of the penny to this day. So, in 1991, the penny was still using the classic Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse side, and the coin was made from a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which was the standard for pennies at the time. While we're all familiar with the Lincoln Memorial design, let's take a closer look at what made the penny of 1991 significant. On the obverse of the 1991 penny, we find the now iconic image of Abraham Lincoln, facing right, with the words "In God we trust" above him and "Liberty" to the left. Below Lincoln's image is the year 1991 and the mint mark, which indicates where the coin was struck. The design of Lincoln has become one of the most recognizable symbols of U.S. currency, and it speaks to the legacy of the 16th president. Lincoln's image was chosen because of his leadership during the Civil War and his role in abolishing slavery, which marked a pivotal moment in American history. On the reverse side, the 1991 penny features the Lincoln Memorial, which was first introduced in 1959. The memorial is a tribute to Lincoln's legacy and his impact on the United States. The reverse design reads "E pluribus unum," out of many, one, with the words "United States of America" and 1 cent prominently displayed. Despite being one of the most common coins in circulation, the 1991 penny holds historical value because it represents an era when the U.S. Mint was focused on producing large quantities of copper pennies to meet the demands of the economy. Okay, let's talk about value. You might be asking yourself, how much is a 1991 penny really worth? Well, the answer might surprise you, because while the penny's face value is, of course, just 1 cent, there are factors that can affect how much it's worth to collectors. On the surface, a 1991 penny in typical circulation is worth only 1 cent. It's still used in day-to-day transactions, and it's a common sight in your spare change. But here's where things get interesting. Some 1991 pennies might be worth more than just 1 cent if they're in exceptional condition or have certain errors. Just like with many other coins, there are certain rare minting errors that can make a 1991 penny worth significantly more than its face value. If you have a 1991 penny with a minting mistake, you could be looking at a valuable collector's item. One of the most sought-after errors is the double die error, which occurs when the coin is struck more than once, causing a doubling effect on the letters and numbers. If you come across a 1991 penny with a double die error, it could be worth anywhere from $50 to $200 or more, depending on the condition and how pronounced the error is. Another error that collectors look for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't aligned correctly in the press, causing part of the design to be missing. These can be especially valuable because they're so rare. A 1991 penny with an off-center strike could be worth between $100 and $500, depending on how much of the design is missing and its overall condition. Of course, the condition of the coin is a huge factor in determining its value. Coins are graded based on their condition, and the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin can be. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin with no signs of wear or damage. A coin in uncirculated or mint state condition will fetch a higher price. For example, a 1991 penny in mint state condition could be worth $1 to $5 or more, especially if it's in the highest grades like MS65 or higher. On the other hand, a penny that's been through years of use, with scratches, discoloration, and damage, will generally only be worth its face value or a few cents more, even if it's a rare year like 1991. Let's talk about the bigger picture here. While a typical 1991 penny may not fetch a high price on the market, there's an interesting concept to consider: the role of pennies in the broader economy and their impact on the value of money over time. Over the years, the production of pennies has come under scrutiny due to the rising costs of production. As of today, it costs more than 1 cent to produce a penny, meaning the U.S. Mint loses money on every penny it makes. This has led some to question whether the penny should be phased out altogether, though that debate continues to this day. Even so, the 1991 penny remains a key part of U.S. currency, circulating in vast quantities. There are still billions of 1991 pennies in circulation, and many collectors are constantly looking for rare, high-grade examples to add to their collections. Any for any errors, double dies, off-center strikes, and other minting mistakes could make your 1991 penny worth a lot more to collectors. And if you're unsure about whether your penny has any special characteristics, take it to a local coin dealer or get it professionally appraised. Thanks for watching today's deep dive into the 1991 1-cent coin. Whether you find one in your change or are simply fascinated by the world of numismatics, I hope this video gave you a better understanding of its history, value, and the potential treasures hidden in your pocket. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more awesome coin content. And as always, happy collecting! This script provides a thorough and engaging breakdown of the 1991 1-cent coin, discussing its history, design, and value, with a focus on rare errors and grading. The goal is to captivate viewers, both casual coin enthusiasts and serious collectors, while offering helpful insights on how to spot valuable pennies. Whether you're a seasoned collector or simply curious about the stories behind the coins in your pocket change, you're in the right place. In this video, we'll explore the history, value, and potential worth of the 1991 penny, and you might just discover that it's worth a little more than just 1 cent. From its origins in the U.S. Mint to the value it holds today, this little coin packs more of a punch than you might think. So stick around as we break down the journey of the 1991 penny, the history behind it, and the hidden treasures that could be lurking in your change. Let's get started. To truly appreciate the 1991 penny, we need to take a step back and understand the context of its production. The penny, or 1-cent coin, has been in circulation since 1793, making it one of the oldest coins in U.S. history. But the 1991 penny has its roots firmly planted in the mid-20th century. Throughout the history of U.S. coinage, the design of the penny has evolved. In 1909, to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, the U.S. Mint introduced the Lincoln cent, which featured the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and a variety of designs on the reverse. This design was created by Victor David Brenner and has become one of the most iconic and enduring images in American currency. In 1959, the U.S. Mint introduced a new reverse design for the Lincoln cent, replacing the wheat ears with the Lincoln Memorial. Designed by Frank Gasparo, this reverse design remained in place for decades, including on the 1991 penny. This 1991 penny is part of a long tradition, and it stands as a reminder of Lincoln's legacy and the changes that occurred in U.S. coinage over time. Produced in the aftermath of the coinage redesigns in the 1950s, The 1991 penny was one of billions of coins struck to meet the needs of the growing economy. The U.S. Mint was churning out huge numbers of pennies in the early 1990s, with millions of people using them in everyday transactions. Let's take a closer look at the design of the 1991 1-cent coin. While it may not seem groundbreaking at first glance, the penny is rich in detail, and its design is an important part of U.S. coinage. On the reverse, we find the Lincoln Memorial design, which has been a constant on the penny since 1959. The memorial is depicted in a full view, with the words United States of America above it, E pluribus unum above the memorial, and 1 cent below. Frank Gasparo's design of the Lincoln Memorial pays tribute to President Lincoln's legacy. The memorial is shown with its iconic columns, and at the center, you'll notice the statue of Lincoln, a symbol of unity and strength. In 1991, the U.S. Mint produced a staggering 7.8 billion pennies. These coins were struck at two different mints, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. The vast majority of these coins were produced at the Denver Mint, with a smaller portion being struck at the Philadelphia Mint. In fact, most 1991 pennies that you'll come across in your pocket change will have been minted in Denver, as the D-Mint mark is common on this coin. Interestingly, the production of the 1991 penny was part of a broader trend in the early 1990s, where the U.S. Mint had to produce an immense number of low-denomination coins due to rising inflation and a growing economy. Pennies were needed for everything from vending machines to small change for everyday transactions. Now, let's talk about the most important question on everyone's mind. What is the value of the 1991 penny today? At face value, the 1991 penny is still worth exactly 1 cent, but like all coins, its value can change depending on certain factors like condition, rarity, and whether it has any special errors. Most 1991 pennies are still circulating, and you'll encounter them in everyday transactions. However, if you find a 1991 penny in exceptional condition, it may be worth more than just 1 cent. For example, if a 1991 penny is in mint state or uncirculated condition, it can fetch anywhere from $1 to $5 or more depending on its quality. That's a nice little premium for a coin that's almost 30 years old. While most 1991 pennies are worth just a penny, there are some rare error coins that can be much more valuable. Error coins occur when a coin is struck incorrectly during the minting process, and they are highly sought after by collectors. Some of the most valuable 1991 pennies are those that feature errors, and there are a few key errors to look out for. One of the most popular error varieties for the 1991 penny is the double die obverse, DDO. This occurs when the coin is struck more than once, causing the design to be doubled on the obverse side, especially on the words Liberty and the date 1991. Depending on the extent of the doubling, a 1991 DDO penny can be worth anywhere from $10 to $100 or more. The more pronounced the error, the higher the value. Another error to look for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is improperly aligned in the press, causing part of the design to be struck off the edge. Off-center 1991 pennies are rarer and can be worth anywhere from $50 to $500. Depending on the severity of the error and the condition of the coin. As with any coin, the value of a 1991 penny is highly influenced by its grade. A coin's grade is a measure of its condition, ranging from poor to mint state. Coins are graded based on factors like wear, scratches, and overall appearance. A 1991 penny in mint state condition, meaning it has no signs of wear and looks brand new, is worth far more than a heavily circulated coin that shows signs of use. Uncirculated 1991 pennies in mint condition can be worth $1 to $5, while coins in lower grades may only be worth their face value or slightly more.